We're on your side tonight asking your questions about COVID-19. We know this is a confusing time. There's a lot going on at once, and some of us don't know what to expect next. What are our options? What are our timelines? And what are our leaders doing to make sure we're going to be okay in all this? All important questions, so we're bringing them straight to those in position to influence the decisions. Tonight we begin our Ask the Expert series. We're going to be doing this for you every Thursday night. And this week we are bringing your questions to Republican Congressman Dan Bishop. He represents District 9 in the U.S. Congress. That includes part of Mecklenburg, all of Union County, and points east. Representative Bishop sits on both the Homeland Security and Small Business committees, two committees obviously very much involved in all that is going on in the country right now. And Congressman Bishop is good enough to join us. Congressman, great to see you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Delighted to be with you.
We've been asking viewers to send in their questions for you, and we've had several along the lines of this. A lot of comments and emails about reopening. When should we reopen? How should we do that? We know the president has been talking about it this evening.
We need to begin rolling out a reopening now and have it well underway by the end of April in North Carolina. Now, different jurisdictions are in different situations. Ours is pretty good, but that means that businesses would be allowed to open while continuing safe social distancing practices. So employers need to stagger and space their employees out to reduce risk and enforce keeping sick employees at home. I think we need to continue to suspend large-scale public events for the time being and see how we do. I think churches ought to be able to resume at their discretion and with great care. And we need to allow those who've had the virus to return to work. They're going to be immune, and we need to encourage the populations that are at risk, the elderly and folks who have underlying conditions, to be extraordinarily cautious. And we've got to ramp up testing.
That leads us actually to the next question, because some business leaders have already said reopening the country really can't happen unless there's these widespread testing sites available. Earlier this week, you referenced it there. You tweeted that you'd like to see everything reopened on April 30th, and in fact, that might be too late. So Kyle wrote into us, and he says, can Representative Bishop explain to his constituents the science he has acquired that supports his rush to open North Carolina widely at the end of April without widespread testing of workers available and contact tracing surveillance systems developed, tested, and operational? What would you say to Kyle?
I think I'd say to Kyle that the burden of persuasion needs to be on the side of on those who would keep the economy shut down. It's an extraordinary thing to do. We've got we need to base our decisions on clear and transparent data rather than flawed modeling. What we've seen has been, unfortunately, not enough disclosure, and of the models that are out there, they're showing that our healthcare resources are adequate, that there's not a danger in the near term. We even see that the curve of cases has flattened, and so, for example, I mean, if you ask specifically for scientific data, there's this national model, the IHME model, that's been followed greatly nationwide. That is showing now that in North Carolina, we'd need COVID beds of like 713 statewide. It's about a tenth of existing capacity. So that doesn't appear to be an immediate risk, but small businesses are on the brink. Employees, your last story cited it. Mm-hmm. Employees are having a horrendous time. Unemployment is mounting rapidly. We've got to address that by restoring the openness of our economy.
Congressman, obviously, yeah, we have flattened the curve, and the numbers have come in below many of these models. I guess many epidemiologists and some of the health experts would say that is because of the extreme mitigation that we have undertook through all this, and there is concern if we lift it too soon that we could see that spike. Does that worry you at all?
So let's make it very clear. I certainly am not talking about lifting all social distancing practices. In fact, what I emphasized is we need to re-emphasize them. We need to pursue them with great discipline. But that doesn't mean that we need to pick essential and non-essential businesses and leave folks at home over the long term. So It's a careful balance, and we need to undertake the first steps into that by letting people get back to work with these careful practices ongoing. Keep schools closed through the end of the year. We're already almost there. Keep the large-scale events out of the picture, and let's see how we do and respond to events. Respond to careful, reliable data and reliable, good predictive modeling that is fully disclosed to the public.
Let's jump into the Paycheck Protection Program. I know you've been encouraging people to apply really as soon as they could. Well, this morning, as you know, the PPP ran out of money. Gary wrote into us. He says, I have a small business with 8 employees. I have applied to the CARES PPP through Bank of America on April 4th, submitted all requested docs when asked for on April 7th. I'm now told the program is out of money. What are the chances of this program getting more funding?
It absolutely needs to. The president made that clear. We've known for a week or more that the program was going to be oversubscribed. I went down to Anson County today, to the largest employer there. They're in exactly the same situation. Their loan application, there was a problem, got snagged, and they didn't get money either. Mm-hmm. The president has asked for another $250 billion. The only obstacle to that is the agreement of the Democratic leadership, but we ought to do that immediately. We could do it before this weekend is out if we would get to it. We need to do that. People desperately need these funds to keep connected to their employees and over the next 2 months.
We know lots of people are waiting on this program to help save their business that they work very hard to build. Congressman Dan Bishop, we appreciate you making time to answer our viewers' questions tonight.
Thank you for allowing me to do that.
Absolutely. Come back and see us. Coming up next.